Here is another very common interview question. Interviewer asks, find duplicate records in a table. Simple. Most people think that is easy. But the interesting part is that many candidates immediately write the wrong query. Because this question is not really about select, it's about understanding what actually defines a duplicate. So let's look at the data first. We have a table called users, and the columns are user ID, name, and email. And the data looks like this. Now, if you look at the email column, you will notice something interesting. Two email values appear more than once, like rahul@gmail.com appears twice and amit@gmail.com also appears twice. And that is exactly what we call duplicates because the same value appears multiple times. So our job is simple to identify those values. Now, before writing any SQL, let's think about the logic. What defines a duplicate? A value that appears more than one time. So if we count how many times each email appears, any email with count greater than 1 is a duplicate. So the query becomes very straightforward. Now let's write it. Select email, then count star as duplicate count from users, then group by email having count star is greater than 1. Now when we run this query, SQL groups the rows by email and counts how many times each email appears. Then the having clause keeps only those groups where the count is greater than 1. So the output shows exactly the duplicate emails. Now sometimes the interviewer asks a follow-up question. Instead of showing just the duplicate values, they may ask you to show all duplicate rows. In other words, show every record that contains a duplicate email. For that, we can use a subquery. Let's write that version. Select star from users where email in, then the subquery is select email from users group by email having count star is greater than 1. Now when we run this, every row that contains a duplicate email appears in the result. This version is useful when debugging data problems because we can see the full records. There is also another modern approach using window functions. Instead of grouping the rows, we can number the rows inside each email group. That is done using row number. Let's see how that works. Select star, then row number over partition by email order by user ID as rn from users and run. Now what happens here is interesting. Rows with the same email are grouped together. Inside each group, SQL assigns row numbers. The first row gets rn equal to 1. If another row has the same email, it will get rn equal to 2. And that tells us exactly which rows are duplicates. This method is useful when we want to remove duplicates safely. And one small real-world insight. Duplicate detection is extremely common in real systems. For example, customer databases, payment systems, and data warehouse pipelines. Because when data comes from multiple sources, duplicates are very common. So interviewer asks this question to see whether you understand data quality problems. So remember this, duplicates are not really about rows. They are about values appearing multiple times. Once you understand that idea, writing SQL becomes very simple.